strength and grace in the last days. From now on it will depend on my supply of strength and grace as to whether you master your earthly life, whether you are able to endure all difficulties which you have to take upon yourselves for the salvation of your souls. But my strength and grace can only flow to you if you are willing to accept both, and thus you have to unite with me through prayer and actions of love. This is my constant admonition, my constant instruction, which I send to the immature soul in order to draw it closer to me, in order to provide it with the opportunity to mature fully, which will eternally remain the same. Only the relationship with me can accomplish this, and if you humans establish this relationship with me voluntarily without having been forced by hardship, your earthly life will also be an easy one. You can be spared much distress, the intention of which is to encourage you to develop the right relationship with me. You will always require strength and grace for your souls to progress, even if the body does not need an extraordinary amount of strength, because the soul's attainment of maturity is the human being's objective on earth, which he can only achieve with my strength and grace. But if people completely ignore this goal, they will have to suffer severe physical distress in order to remember the one, who has might, strength and love in abundance, in order to appeal to him for help. Then strength and grace will be able to flow to them, and then the soul will also be out of danger. But extreme hardship is necessary during the last days because people have distanced themselves from the source of strength evermore. There is a wide gap between them and myself. Grace and strength is no longer requested and humanity ignores love. People no longer shape themselves into recipients of my gifts of grace, and strength and grace cannot forcefully be given to them against their will. First they have to establish contact with me in order to receive what they lack in an earthly and spiritually sense but nevertheless desperately need. And since I respect their free will but, on the other hand, do not want to leave them in their wretched spiritual state, I approach them in the form of severe earthly hardship. I come closer to them to make it easier for them to establish the right kind of relationship with me and to call upon me, as the giver of strength and grace, for help. And thus, in the last days the hardship will become unbearable for all people who are distant from me but who are not yet completely controlled by my adversary. Because they can still be saved, and immense hardship is intended to achieve this. But do not get annoyed with me, do not doubt my love, and do not lose faith in me in view of this adversity. You, who are enlightened, should also enlighten your fellow human beings to the fact that nothing happens on earth without meaning and purpose, and that even the greatest suffering can have a healing effect if the human being wants it himself. You could never survive without my supply of strength and grace. You will be physically destroyed too if you do not recognize the hardship as my warning call, for you cannot do anything by yourselves. Hence you need to use the source of strength which is at everyone's disposal. You need to draw from it, you have to want to be considered by the giver of strength, and consequently you have to contact him mentally and ask him for it, or open yourselves through deeds of love so that my strength and grace can flow to you unimpeded. Then earthly and spiritual hardship will be over. Then you will still be able to reach your given goal in the short time before the end, and then the hardship will not have been in vain. And you will thank me, your Father of eternity, who, by way of hardship, has saved you from an infinitely long captivity, who, by way of hardship, has helped you to become free. Amen.